Hey guys, today my vegetable supplier Rungis invited me to learn more about the world's best cherry, the cerisa cherry. After that we're using it to make a delicious cherry dessert inspired by a black forest gateau. It's a chocolate mousse with a cherry interior, a cherry and vanilla gel, a cherry and chocolate cream, and a chocolate vanilla powder. So, let's begin.
I'm a guest at Willy's Cherries Orchard. Here he grows the most delicious cherries in the world. And yes, I know that that's a statement. But I grew up not far from this area that's known for its cherries, and every year I eat kilos of different cherries. These cerisa cherries are really something else. The cherries are at least 28 millimeters, and still the texture is amazing, while they are so juicy and flavorful. It's really a product made in heaven. Well, these cerisa cherries are originally from Switzerland, but Willy imported them here to the Netherlands, where he grows them with a lot of passion. He really is one of the most passionate persons I ever talked to, and it's amazing to hear his vision on quality over quantity. The cerisa cherry is picked with stem and a little piece of the wood, also known as the cork. This protects the cherry from drying out, and if stored properly, you can keep them in your fridge for 2 to 3 weeks. Willy checks his cherries every day, and only if the flavor is optimal they are picked cherry by cherry. Only the best cherries are selected. Once they are picked, they are cooled as fast as possible to protect the flavor and quality. The season usually starts just before July, and it only lasts a couple of weeks, so get them while you can. Willy and I picked a beautiful box full, and I'm bringing them back home to make a delicious dessert. So, back to the kitchen. First we'll start by cleaning these beautiful cerisa cherries. Remove the stems and then the pit. The pit I remove by using a cherry pitter. You can also cut them in half and then twist them open to remove the pit, but this is much easier and faster. Now I only do it in a measuring cup because the cherry juice otherwise splashes everywhere. Now cut them in small cubes. It doesn't need to be super precise. Then keep them in your fridge for later. Now for the gel. Transfer 500 grams of frozen cerisa cherries into a saucepan and also add 50 grams of sugar. Then cut a vanilla pod in half and scrape out the seeds. Add them to the pan as well and then bring it to a boil on a low heat. Let it simmer for 5 minutes. I use frozen cherries from last year because you boil them and this will affect the flavor. You can use fresh as well, but you won't notice the difference. Then remove the empty vanilla pod and blend it till smooth. After that, measure the total weight of the cherry coulis and pour it back into the pan. For every 100 grams of coulis, you need to add 1 gram of agar. This was 450 grams, so I added 4.5 grams of agar powder. Now mix it well and then bring it to a boil for 1 minute. Then pour it into a bowl and let it cool down completely in your fridge. Once cold, transfer it into a blender and blend it till smooth. Now transfer half of the gel into a bowl and add the cut cherries. Mix this well and then fill your desired mold. These ones are from Mold Brothers. Then level it using a palette knife and let it set in your freezer. The remaining gel you can transfer into a piping bottle and keep it in your fridge for later. Now for the chocolate mousse. Mix 50 grams of sugar with 20 grams of water and heat this up till the temperature is 121 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, pour 90 grams of whole egg into a mixing bowl and start beating it. Once the egg is fluffy and the sugar is at temperature, slowly add it to the bowl and beat it till completely cold. While that's happening, soak 2 leaves or 3.3 grams of gelatin in cold water. Then pour 100 grams of cream into a saucepan and bring it to a boil. Now turn off the heat and dissolve the gelatin. Then add 180 grams of dark chocolate and mix it well. Set it aside for later. Now pour 200 grams of cream into a bowl and beat it till it's at yogurt thickness. Then take the fluffy egg yolks and add your chocolate ganache. Gently fold this together and then add the whipped cream. Also gently fold this together till it's an even fluffy chocolate mousse. Now fill your desired mold 3/4 with the mousse and tap the mold a couple of times to remove any air bubbles. Then press the frozen interior in there and level it with a palette knife. Now let it set completely in your freezer. Now the dark chocolate brush. First melt 150 grams of cocoa butter on a low heat. Then transfer 150 grams of dark chocolate into a measuring cup and once the cocoa butter is melted, pour it on the chocolate. Blend this to completely smooth. Now pour it into your brush machine and cover your worktop with foil. Then remove the frozen chocolate mousse from the mold and lay them on a frozen tray. Brush a thin layer of the chocolate brush on there. Do this all around. Now keep them in your freezer for later. Then for the chocolate and cherry cream. First, pour 250 grams of cream into a saucepan and also add 50 grams of cherry liquor, 100 grams of egg yolk, 30 grams of sugar and 20 grams of cornstarch. Now mix this well, and then while stirring bring this to a boil to thicken it. Once thickened, turn off your heat and add 100 grams of dark chocolate. Mix this to completely smooth and emulsified. Then pour it into a bowl, cover it and let it set in your fridge. After that, mix it for a minute with a whisk and then transfer it into a piping bag that's fitted with a nozzle. Keep it in your fridge for later. Now for the chocolate tuile. Mix 60 grams of egg white with 40 grams of sunflower oil, 10 grams of freeze-dried cherries, 50 grams of sugar, 10 grams of butter, 25 grams of flour and 15 grams of cocoa powder. Now blend this till smooth. Once smooth, spread it on the tuile mold and level it with a palette knife. Then bake the tuiles at 160 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes till crispy. Remove them when still hot to prevent them from breaking. Now for the chocolate vanilla powder. Mix 200 grams of sugar with 40 grams of water and cut a vanilla pod in half. Then scrape out the seeds and add both to the pan as well. Then heat this up till it's 135 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, transfer 100 grams of dark chocolate into a bowl and melt this on a double boiler or in a microwave. Now while mixing, slowly add your hot sugar syrup and keep on mixing till you end up with a really fine powder. Then remove the empty vanilla pot and mix it some more. Once that's done, dust a thin layer of the powder on the tuile. Now we can start to finish the dessert. First, place the chocolate mousse on a plate and let it defrost for 15 minutes. Then pipe a line of the cream in the middle and place some sliced cherries on both sides. Now pipe a couple dots of the gel in between and decorate it with edible flowers. Then gently place the tuile on top and be careful so no powder falls on the plate. And then it's ready to be served.
Okay guys, that's it for today. The dish looks amazing. Yeah, really happy with it. The beautiful dark cherries, they go so well with that dark chocolate. And it also was a lot of fun to learn more about the cherries from Willy. So again, thanks Rungis for inviting me. Was a lot of fun. Let's just dig in. Already had a little bite, so I know what it tastes like. But it is fresh and it's very rich at the same time because of the dark chocolate. The powder on top of the tuile really gives it that little brush effect as well, while it's also so delicious. Yeah, that's so good. The cherry, it's super fresh, super flavorful. The cherry gel with the vanilla, that's delicious. So it's an amazing combination together with the chocolate. I mean, it's a combination made in heaven. So like I said, very, very, very happy with the dessert. I hope you guys liked the video as well. Please let me know in the comments on what you want to see next. Like and share the video and subscribe if you want to support my channel, but also learn and get more free recipes. And as always, bon appetit!